Alright, y'all, we're back. Me, David, and Josh. This is my list of the best albums of 2023. I have 40 albums here to talk about, 5 disappointments, and 5 EPs. I normally keep the EPs separate. So, the disappointments, this one, it is number 5 in disappointments, mostly because it's not a disappointment in a way that, man, the album sucks, it makes me not like it, or whatever, but it's a disappointment because I was expecting some other things. But this is Four and the Strange Band's Hangdog, their second album. I was mostly disappointed because the first album had a great mix of the country stuff and the heavier stuff. In this album, Hangdog, it's mostly pretty much just all the country stuff. A lot of mid-tempo country stuff, but it's really fucking good country and folk stuff. But when I was listening to it the first time, I was like, alright, where's a more heavy song? Nope, this isn't it. Alright, the next one will be a heavy one. No, it wasn't. So I was slightly disappointed because I wanted some more heavier stuff, because they did some really great heavy stuff on the first album. But that doesn't knock it down. Next in disappointments, Baby Metal, the other one. Yeah. This hurt because Baby Metal was such a fun band to listen to. The 3 previous albums, the first one could have easily been written off as novelty, but the second one, Metal Resistance, really showed a lot of growth. And then Metal Galaxy, what I loved about them was so many different genres, so many different styles of metal music in there, folk metal, and new metal-y stuff, just the J metal stuff, just all over the place, so unpredictable. It was a good album. Yeah, you didn't know what was going to happen next. And sadly, with the other one, most reviewers said, "Oh, it's them doing a mature sound." What does that even mean? That means so the fact that they took all of the
made them fun.
Yeah, all of the different stuff, all the different aspects out of it, and made it just a fairly bland J metal album. Y'all say this is great because it is mature. What the fuck? I hate it when motherfuckers say, "Oh, they matured their sound because they got rid of all the stuff that made me come in there." But yeah, it was a massive disappointment because I was really hyped. I was really hyped that, you know, I was ready to see what else they would do next. And every song, it would be like J metal, electronica synthy moment, J metal, electronica synthy moment, and I don't remember a single thing off of it. Massive fucking disappointment. Disappointment number 3, Gorillaz, Cracker Island, and that I always defended Gorillaz after Demon Days for a long time, mostly because I wasn't ready to say a Gorillaz album sucked. And man, Cracker Island just didn't fucking do it for me. What blows my mind is how on earth are we getting these lackluster Gorillaz albums when I know Damon Albarn can do some killer shit. A couple of years ago, he dropped the new Good, the Bad, the Queen album, and that was phenomenal. And even last year, the new Blur album was 1,000,000 times better than that Gorillaz album. But yeah, massive disappointment. Number 2 disappointments, Avatar, Dance Devil Dance. What the fuck happened? It just sounds generic as fuck for me. The only 2 things I remember about Dance Devil Dance is Lizzie Hale's on a track, and there's the track that did like a Beach Boys thing for like 3 seconds. What really started making me like Avatar was the silliness. They got a little weird on Feathers and Flesh. Thought it was great. Avatar Country really brought up the silliness, and I was like, these guys are gonna be awesome to me. But then Hunter Gatherer came out, and it was a fine little metal album. And then this, so I didn't have many hopes, but yeah, it just didn't fucking do it for me. No. At all. And we'll have to fucking see what happens next. Next, the last disappointment is Otep the Godslayer. and yeah, it's mostly because, like David was saying, the covers are whatever, but to me the originals are fairly unmemorable as well. David hates Cult 45. I liked it a lot, mostly because you know, I agree with her hating on the far alt-right shit. Maybe that album was a little too much of it in one go, but I enjoyed my time with that album. Definitely isn't old school Otep, but for a late career Otep album, I thought it was pretty good. It came out, you know, right in the midst of the you know, let's fucking hate on the alt-right kind of shit. And so I was here for it. I was totally here for it. But
I didn't think it was good musically.
This one's just kind of we're here. This is it. Get used to it. Next, we're talking about the EPs. Now, the EPs aren't in any kind of order. These are just EPs that I liked. So, from 5 to 1, it's not a ranking. It's just good-ass EPs. Because actually, my top 3... Actually, I should do this from 1 to 5. Because, so, Spirit Box, The Fear of Fear EP, it was alright. It wasn't as good as that debut Spirit Box album. Slightly boring, if I would say. The next EP is Shaggy 2 Dopes, Professor Shags and the Quest for the Ultimate Groove. You gotta love it when Shaggy drops a solo project, and this was really good. And I think I do like Violent J's solo album last year better. But yeah, Professor Shags was pretty good. Number 3 are ICP and Insane Clown Posse, Woe the Weeping Weirdo EP. It wasn't as good as Pug Ugly, and it's about as good as Wicked Vic. I'm just glad that the Yum Yum Flower era is over, and we can move on to this other 6th Joker card that is supposed to be coming eventually. Number 2 EPs is Ghost Phantomime. Ghost like to do cover EPs in between albums every once in a while, and this one's no exception. But to me, the most memorable thing on here is their cover of Genesis, Jesus He Knows Me, which, phenomenal music video. Love the Ghost lore with the character Jim DeFrock and the circle jerk scene, and he's just combing the cum in his hair. Love the fuck out of what's going on with Ghost right now. And then the other song to note on this EP is their cover of We Don't Need Another Hero from Tina Turner. Just fits that vibe that Ghost has been going for more recently with the more 80s kind of style stuff. Really good EP. I can't wait to see what happens next with Ghost. My number 1 EP of the year that I listened to was Living Dead Girl's Not That Innocent. Living Dead Girl is awesome. She's a Canadian artist. and it just sounds like a heavy metal Avril Lavigne. There will be bits that sound like pop punk, Avril Lavigne kind of stuff, but then it'll go into like some of the most heavy ass metal and screaming, and they pull it off really well. And this album, this EP, does a bunch of covers of artists she says she grew up listening to. So there's a cover of, I believe it's Skater Boy. She covers Not That Innocent, or what is it? Is that the song? Or Oops, I Did It Again. She does Oops, I Did It Again for Britney Spears. There's a Hilary Duff song, and it's just a good ass. It's just a good ass EP. I'm Coming Out, that Pink song. There's a metaled up version of that. Really cool metal covers of, you know, girl pop songs from the early 2000s. Really dig that. If you haven't heard Living Dead Girl, they're a band to definitely look out for. Now we're in the top 30 of the albums. Number 30. What the hell going on? So, number 30 is Black Braid and Black Braid 2. Black Braid is a Native American black metal musician, and man, I hated to have to put it so low, because he mixes black metal with woodsy and atmospheric-y kind of acoustic stuff, a little folkiness, but this doesn't do very much different than the first album did, and so, I mean, it's as good as that first Black Braid. 29, number 29 is, I can't believe this wasn't on your list, St. Agnes Bloodsuckers.
It wasn't on my list because I don't remember it.
Wow, you showed them to me, that new metal shit. You said it had little Nine Inch Nails vibes on the last track.
Yeah, I forgot about it.
Yeah.
It was good. Now you reminded me. I'm like, okay, yeah, now I remember.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I totally forgot about that.
Really good fucking new metal album that dropped last year. It's this low on the list.
I gotta go back to it now because I totally forgot about
Shit rocked, man. It's this low on the list mostly because there's other stuff that I listen to more. Such as number 28, Blur's The Ballad of Darren. The new Blur album, not as rockin' as early Blur stuff, but it was better than the new Gorillaz album. But it was good. It was good to hear Damon Albarn with rock music. You know, it's been a minute. It's been a minute. Damn good album. And so, moving on, 27 is an artist named Dorothea Cottrell. She does, the album is called Death Folk Country, and she's doing interesting things within the doomy side of music. It's mostly acoustic doom metal, but it's like acoustic folk and doomy, and it's just atmospheric. It feels like you're out in the woods. It's creepy. And it's heavy, but without electricity. It's really fucking good. Number 26 is Blink-182, One More Time. Alright, I love the early Blink-182, and I'm fine with Blink-182 after that. Not the biggest fan of Blink-182 after Tom left. Tom coming back really helped this album, and the fact that a lot of the songs are about friends getting older and getting back together, and remembering old times when they were fucking young and dumb, and where they're at now. The album is just it's such a getting old album that really hit me in the right spots. I'd be thinking about y'all and shit, and Zach, because I'm like, man, we've known each other so fucking long and shit. And
we're a Blink-182 song.
Say what?
I said, oh, we're a Blink-182 song.
But I mean, like, I'm just like, damn, dude. Like, they say some real ass shit on that album. So number 25, this is gonna be a little weird. 4 in the strange band, Hangdog. Now, this wasn't my disappointments, but like I said, it's a disappointment because I was expecting some heavy shit. But it's on my list proper because it's a damn good folk and country album that should definitely be heard. And after that initial first listen where I was like, alright, where's my heavy song, where's my heavy song? This actually, after further listens, I enjoyed it a lot more because I was able to appreciate what was actually going on as opposed to anticipating something that wasn't going to happen. Damn good album. Number 24 is Bully. Lucky for You. Love the shit out of Bully. Just some good 90s style alt rock. Real heavy, and I don't know. I've mentioned her many times on this show before. It'll remind you of Veruca Salt, maybe a little bit of Hole, you know, just the good ass alt rock lady shit from the 90s. The guitar tones are all there. Totally fucking awesome. Number 23, Skating Polly, another group that's heavy on the 90s alt rock female side. They're another one that will remind you of Hole and Veruca Salt. Highly recommend checking them out. Their new album, Chaos County Line. It's been a while since they've had an album, and this one is massive. There's like 18 tracks, and all of that shit fucking rocks. Not a bit of filler. Number 22 is Orbital. Optical Delusion. Orbital has been one of my favorite electronica bands since I was a kid, since I first heard them in the Mortal Kombat movie at the end with their halcyon track, boom, 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 boom. And they've just been there. If you've heard the Orb is similar. And what threw me off with this album was the fact that most of the time Orbital keep it strictly instrumental. You know, it's all about just beady stuff, you know, just good old electronica you can get lost in. But this one, every song features vocalists, and I was slightly worried. I was like, damn, are these songs going to be like structured like pop songs with a singer singing and a verse and a chorus kind of structure? No, not at all. It just feels like Orbital doing Orbital shit and other people saying shit over it. And one track that was really cool was Sleaford Mods is on a track, and I mentioned last year that their album won the award for most British ass shit I've heard in a long time. And it damn sure was. You know, it's cool. It's fucking, it is a great album. Orbital has not dropped a shitty album yet. Number 21, another one that I hate is So Low, but like I said, there's more that I listen to, a lot more. But Dope Year Zero is number 21. This album is great all the way through. I just love the grindy industrial mixed with the new metal-y kind of stuff. They are pretty far away from what they used to sound like, but all of that is still in there, just moderned up a little bit. Like I said, my only complaint was that that out of nowhere use of auto-tune. Like, I don't know why we need it there, but you're the star of the show. It's your tools. You use them. But damn good album all the way through. I do like the fact that, well, originally it was going to be a Dope album and a Static X album in the same year, but that Static X album got pushed to this year. So we will be talking about that coming later. Number 20, we're in the 20s now. Till Lindman's Zunge or Zunge. I loved the shit out of this. This was a little hard to get a hold of because it was sold out. It was only sold on the Romstein website. and it was sold out for a minute, and the only one that was available was the expensive deluxe version with like a meat-shaped pillow, which I definitely would have got, but the shipping was fucking stupid. It'd have been like almost $100 to get that version. Finally, it was back in stock, and I had ordered it, and it was like $45 after shipping just for the CD. So I technically spent $45 for a fucking Till Lindemann album, but well worth it. I'm a massive fan, but I think it was a little hard to get a hold of because of all the canceling shit going on with his ass right now. Keep it in your pants, people. But the album
they dropped it.
Yeah, the album is great. Like David said, like it's half Romstein and half experimentation. And yeah, the dude's gonna sound like Romstein, and I'm glad that it does. Just like with, to me, the most wildly different shit Till has ever done was that first Lindemann album, and that's only because it was all sang in English. The music sounded like Romstein.
But it was great in English, though.
Yeah. It was silly, it was fun, it was stupid, but it was awesome.
I want another one.
Yeah, and so then when they did the second Lindemann and it was all in German, I was just happy to have another Romstein album.
It's funny, so I think it's different from Lindman.
Yeah, this is not this.
Because this was Till.
This is Till Lindemann.
Right, that's what I'm saying. Like it was
Lindemann
separate.
was a project between Till Lindemann and another guy.
Yeah, and they had a falling out. That's why it's different.
Yeah, so that guy isn't a part of this.
That's why Skills and Pills is the superior one.
Yeah, Skills and Pills, and the two Lindemann albums is Till and that other guy.
I love that fucking music video.
But like I said, with the second Lindemann, I was just happy to have two Romstein albums in the same year. And very much with this. This is just another Romstein album, basically. It is, there's a lot of experimentation, a lot of things that you don't normally hear him do, but 90% of it is shit you've heard him do, and shit you expect. If you're a Romstein fan, you're gonna like it. But like I said, one of the most fascinating bits is that hidden track that just sounds like it belongs on Eurovision. It is so out there. Next, number 19, Butcher Babies, Eye for an Eye Till the World is Blind. I love the fuck out of Butcher Babies. I don't know why they get the amount of hate that they do. Maybe it's because they're a couple hot chicks with tape on their nipples, screaming their asses off. I don't know. I don't know why they get the amount of hate, but they rock the fucking house. The shit's heavy. They scream with the best of them. They sing with the best of them. And they have gotten better with each fucking release. I will say, because this is a double album, one disc is essentially an EP. But I'll say the EP side is not as good as the main album. The main album is great. I think I'm going to call this stuff, because you're starting to see a lot more of this, like, hot fucking chick, front chicks in metal bands. And you could even say Living Dead Girl is like that, too. I'm going to start calling it thought metal. You know what I mean? But no, that's, not knocking these ladies, because they kick fucking ass. The album I enjoyed a whole lot. So number 18, Animal Collective, Is It Now? Animal Collective is one of those cool, weird bands that you really don't know what the fuck you're gonna get. It's either gonna be annoying, or delightfully annoying, awesomely annoying, or just fucking awesome. And the last two albums have been more on a jam band aspect, and I think I like this one more than the last one. This was recorded at the same time as the last one. That's why it came out a little over a year after the last one. But damn good fucking shit. These guys are just awesome. Awesome as fuck. Number 17, Son of Leviathan, and that's of with a zero, O-V. I think I told you to check them out. I think I told you to check them out. It's a fairly newer band that does symphonic black metal, but it sounds so much like early 2000s Cradle of Filth and Dimmu Borgir that I was like, oh man. I was like, this shit is awesome. You know, symphonic black metal hasn't really sounded like this. It'll remind you of Emperor. It'll remind you of Old Man's Child. Just that sweet spot of early 2000s.
Our Tranquility.
Yeah, shit like that. It hits that sweet spot.
I will check it out. Sons of who?
Sons of Leviathan, yeah. And the album is called Lucifusion. Good shit. I actually, I was impressed so much when I first heard them. That was another Facebook recommendation that...
Facebook's getting it right for you.
Right. And so I went on their Bandcamp. They have 4 versions of their first 2 albums. 2 originals and 2 re-releases. I bought all 4 of those and bought the new album the moment it dropped. Shit is fucking great if you like that earlier, not early Cradle of Filth and Dimmu Borgir, but like if you like that 99 to about 2002-ish era of that kind of stuff, these guys will hit that fucking sweet spot. Number 16, Three Teeth Index. It's another one that's on all 3 of our lists. The album is great. I found these guys a handful of years ago, and they really impressed me because each album sounded different. Their first album really hits on the old school industrial vibes, the early 90s primitive industrial vibes. And maybe even like the mid to late 80s industrial vibes. Like it's got old school griminess all over it. Then their second album felt a little closer to 9 Inch Nails. It was a little easier to listen to. The third album sounds like fucking dope. Metal War straight sounds like dope to me. And then the new one is kind of like all that together. Maybe a little more. It's all mostly mid-tempo stuff. I think I reviewed it earlier, a couple months ago on here. But yeah, mostly mid-tempo, grimy, sludgy industrial stuff. And a fantastic cover of Everybody Wants to Rule the World from Tears for Fears at the end of the album. Number 15, Death Clock, Death Album 4. Damn good album. An album that I never thought we'd fucking get. You know what I mean? Never thought we'd fucking get it. I thought that, you know, Death Clock was done. Adult Swim and Cartoon Network said no fucking more. Now you're just going to be stuck with Galacticon or whatever Brendan Small wants to do next. So I'm glad that we get the closure of the Death Clock story. Still got to see the movie. And like Josh said, like we were talking, you know, our favorites is like Death 1. I love Death 2, I love Death 3, but my favorite one, y'all, is that Doomstar Requiem album soundtrack. The Clock Opera. That's my favorite Death Clock release, just because of how zany it is, and it's like the characters singing and the characters' voices. You know, how could I be a hero with my dick as big as a shoe? Just love the shit out of it. I love the official Death Clock releases, but I think still to this day, Doomstar Requiem album's like my favorite. But as far as like Death Clock as a band, 4 is great. Worth the Wait, Worth the Surprise, came out of nowhere. Definitely happy with it, and who knows? And then we get what? Mermaider Part 3 on this, is it? Or was there a Mermaider 3 on Death Album 3? There's a Mermaider track on here.
Mermaider isn't.
Yeah, because there's Mermaider on the first album, and then Mermaider 2 on Death Album 2. Is there a Mermaider on Album 3? I can't remember. I know there's a Mermaider on this. But that's just age talking, y'all. Number 14, Queens of the Stone Age, in Times New Roman. I liked this album a lot when it came out. I haven't listened to it much recently. But I liked it because it went more for... It sounded more closer to the desert vibe than Villains. I praised Villains when it came out because of its polish and its... there's like a grandioseness to Villains. Just a real fun party vibe to it. It's a rock and roll party. And this one gets a little weird. Times New Romans gets a little weird. There's a lot of cool weird shit happening. I need to turn it back on because it's been a minute. But definitely worth checking out. Number 13 is Sightless Pit, Lockstep, Blood War, one of the more interesting hip-hop albums I heard. And it is weird experimental hip-hop. Each song, there's a bunch of different hip-hop artists doing vocals on the tracks. The last album they did featured Lingua Ignota on all the vocals, and that's a great album. So it was weird because, you know, Christen Hayter said she wasn't going to be a part of them anymore. So this is what they did. They did some weird experimental music with, you know, weird hip-hop artists. And damn, if not, it was a fantastic, weird fucking release. Next, number 12 is... Suspense. Number 12 is Zulu, A Better Tomorrow. Zulu is a awesome group. It's like a hardcore punk outfit. It is very similar to Bad Brains in a way. You'll get some hardcore punk and metal music, but then they'll throw in some like reggae and some like soul and R&B music. Really good, really unpredictable. The metal and the punk aspect is fantastic. This is a group to definitely pay attention to. They're fucking going places. Number 11, Poppy Zig. I hate that Poppy has not made the top 10, y'all. Y'all know I've been a fan of Poppy since it was just weird YouTube videos. Her pop music, I am not the biggest fan of. Poppy.Computer's a fine little weird kind of pop album. It's one that I don't really listen to in front of people because I would just look weird.
It's a weird fucking album.
Yeah. Where is my microphone? Yeah. It's just weird. I love her original EP, The Bubble Bath. Like Money Is My Jam. Her second album, Am I a Girl? That is a massive step up above Poppy.Computer for me, and it also showed where she was going to go, because you have the song Play Destroy and X, which showcased the metal shit that was about to come with I Disagree, and that kind of dominated like the last 3 years of her career. I Disagree was phenomenal.
Yeah, I love that one.
The Eat EP, phenomenal. Oh my God, what's the name of the album that came after that? Flux. Flux, a phenomenal album. Toned it down a bit, jumped a little more in the 90s alt vibes.
Punk pop.
Some jack off Jill vibes and some pop punky stuff and some shoegaze, but still really fucking good.
Right.
Then the Stagger EP, another great fucking release. This one really, it's a great fucking album. It's a great alternative pop album. There's slight little metalish tones in there.
it's mostly weird pop music, a little dissonance here and there. It's a really great fucking album. It's a really good album. It's a fairly memorable album. I just slightly get a little bored, you know, through my entire listen, because I'm like, all right.
It's disappointing for what you wanted.
Well, see, my thing is, like, I didn't know what I wanted. With her, you never know what the fuck you're gonna get.
Right.
So I was like, it's good, but at the same time, there was a few albums that came out around the same time as this that grasped my attention a lot more. It's a great poppy album. Definitely not my favorite. I would say Disagree, Eat, fucking Flux, and Stagger are my favorite releases from her. But this is an interesting piece in her career. I would hope she does something a little more away from this alternative pop stuff, industrial pop, if you will.
Go back to metal.
Yeah, throw a little more metal in there, you know. Plus, it's also because right before this album came out, you know, she did that awesome cover of Spit from Kitty.
Right, so it got you all
hyped. Yeah, it got you all
hyped.
hyped that, like, oh man, you know.
And then she just released her single with Omens.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, that's a metal one. And I'm like, you do metal so well.
Yeah.
And it's different because her vocals are different. And then scream, I like her scream a lot.
She has she could scream with the best of them. Next, now we're in the top 10, October Noir, Letters to Existence. If you guys...
Typo Negative.
Yeah, basically, your Typo Negative ripoff band, but that's their job. They are here to take the torch of a forgotten sound and do their best to recreate it, and motherfucker if they don't recreate it. If you are a Typo Negative fan, October Noir is a band to definitely check out. And this one is awesome because what I like about this band is they do everything that Typo Negative did, and they do it fucking great. But they also add some other things in there that Typo Negative didn't have a chance to do. Like, there's a track on this album that features a female singer, and man, it is phenomenal. Imagine if Typo Negative had done a song with Amy Lee or some fucking body, you know, Christina Scabia. Could you imagine how that would have turned out? And they have something very similar, and it's one of the best songs on the album. Mind-blowing shit, and it does everything you want a Typo Negative style band to do. The tones are there, the guitar tones, the drum styles, everything. They focused, it's like they seriously sat down and like researched the shit out of everything Typo Negative and said, we're going to, for all the people like me who have missed that sound for 15 years, 14 years, they said, we're going to fucking bring it back for you guys. And it is awesome. Number 9, Wayfarer American Gothic. I remember you said this was pretty rad.
Yeah, I thought, I like the, I remember like...
Black metal country.
Yeah, that's pretty much what it was pretty much
Black
what it
metal
is.
Western music.
It was really, like, I liked how it was the production on it. Like,
yeah.
It didn't sound like the muddy black metal that you would get.
Yeah, it didn't sound like shitty.
That's the kind of black metal I can't get into. Like,
yeah,
where it's just like real muddy and just nasty sounding. Like the vocals are like you're in a room that can all the vocals bounce off the fucking wall. Like it sounds like the vocalist is like 20 feet away from the mic, and it's just like, and then all you hear is the fucking echo. I can't stand that sound. That kind of black metal does not do good for me.
Like standard normal black metal has gotten stale, boring, and stagnant. And so thankfully there's a lot of newer bands from the past several years who are reinvigorating the genre for me, because I'm a big black metal fan. But it has remained stagnant for a long time. There's a good chunk of bands who are taking the genre forward, and Wayfarer Yeah, in some way or form. I mean, Batushka, Zeal Door, Untamed Land, who is almost, Untamed Land is almost like a brother band to this band in a way, because this is like black metal by way of the American West and Appalachia, whereas Untamed Land is like black metal with fucking spaghetti western kind of shit. Like, it is awesome. There's cool shit happening in black metal right now. I still think Zeal and Ardor is my favorite. But Wayfarer is definitely up there. There's other fucking bands who are taking black metal in great areas. Probably my #1 favorite of all time right now is Imperial Triumphant. If you want the dissonance and the brutal fucking jazz, just, it is hard to listen to if you are not into noise, man. It's so goddamn good. What'd you say?
Come on, Timmy.
Come on, what?
Come on, Timmy.
Come on, Timmy. Come on, Timmy. Let's slow it down, Timmy.
Let's do a death machine.
#8, Bear Ghost, Jiminy. We talked about this. This is, like I said, it is heavy metal Oingo Boingo. It is heavy metal Danny Elfman shit. It is awesome. So we're moving on. #7, Abe.
Here's my #8 too.
Oh, right on. #7, Abe Partridge, Love in the Dark. This album is great. I'm a big fan of sad folk music, good folk music. The dude's just a wordsmith like a motherfucker.
He has that one weird fucking...
Yeah, David sent me, it was about a year ago, David sent me a video for Alabama Astronauts.
Yes.
And I thought it was just gonna be. I was like, what kind of redneck shit is this gonna be? I thought it was just gonna be some bullshit.
No,
but I was watching it.
It Primus a lot too.
And I was listening to it, and I was like, this is a whole lot smarter than some bullshit. I was like, what did David just fucking send me? And I started searching the dude's songs on YouTube, and I was like, this motherfucker is awesome. I'm like, how did David find this fucking guy? David's like, dude, he's going to be playing up here in LaGrange, man. You want to get tickets? Fuck yeah, I want to get damn tickets.
Yeah, Tanya told me about him.
Man.
She wanted to go to a concert or something that was around LaGrange. And she found it, so she found a few people, and we started looking up their sound, and I got to Abe. That's how I found him, because I was like, fuck. It's like, Travis got to hear this shit. Like, he would love this shit.
Yeah, you knew it.
And he did it live, too. Like, it's such a crazy kind of song to do live.
And it's a long song and a lot of shit to remember. The dude's got 2 of them. And in fact, both of them are on this album. One is like the 440 something Freak Out.
Yeah.
Where it's like, that's a lot of shit to remember, man. Live?
It's like, and maybe the world will just come down to a world end, and the president will come and tell me, and it's just a straight story of him just talking.
Yeah.
I mean, it's so good. The whole album is really good, though. I mean, he's got he's, like I say, he's a preacher, or former preacher, so there's some, stuff about Jesus.
Yeah, there's some Jesus-y stuff, but it's not like...
He did stuff about snake charmers. That was I can't remember what song it was, but it was, I mean, it's good...
Yeah, it's songs like,
and I knocked his ass down to the ground, and it's raspiness to it.
Yeah, it's fucking awesome. So we went to the concert, and I was like, this motherfucker better have merch.
I got his
yeah, we bought. He put the Alabama Astronauts comic book with a flexi disc single. Bought that from him. Bought every album the dude had, even from his other group, Psych Peas. That's a little more punky. Had the man sign all the shit. We got pictures. Like, bro.
Yeah, he's a cool guy.
Getting it all, man. And yeah, so
I keep messaging him on the Instagram. So I'll leave a message. I mean, I don't message him like DMs.
Hey man, let me get your DMs,
like,
bro.
I'll be watching something, and I'll comment, and I'll be like, yeah, when you need to come back to LaGrange.
Or at least Columbus.
Yeah, something.
Next, number 6 is Wargasm Venom. Man, this album is so goddamn good. Yeah, the rest of this is gonna really resemble these guys. Venom from Wargasm, such a great fucking debut album, man. It takes all of the good shit from that little EP and really pushes it forward.
Punches in the face.
It takes all the stuff I love about nu metal, especially the industrial side of the early nu metal stuff, where it's got the aggression of Static X, it's got the energy of the Prodigy, it's got the attitude of Lords of Acid in a way. It is, man, it is just, it packs a punch. Every track fucking hits, every track fucking rips. Fred Durst features on a track and it's really cool. Damn good all the way through. Number 5, Avenge Sevenfold, Life is But a Dream.
So far up there.
Yeah. It was originally number 1 until
Kim Dracula.
Yeah, until Kim Dracula came out. Then it was originally number 2. Until a few other albums came out, but it was hard. It was hard to move it, man. It was hard to move it.
Because you had to be listening, and you're like, oh.
It was like, man, it's one of the best Avenged Sevenfold albums. These guys, and I know it gets a lot of hate. It gets a lot of hate, and I get it. It was funny. It was Crash Thompson's #1 worst album of the year. Blew me away. He loves or he hates this album for all the same reasons I like it. Not gonna hate. I love Crash. Crash is a great person. But he hates this album for all the reasons I love it. But he loves the new Sleep Token for all the reasons I hate it. It's crazy to me. But when on his review for his worst albums, and he's talking about this, it's so funny. He's like, "This is garbage because I know what a Mr. Bungle album is supposed to sound like." And I'm like, yeah, we all do. And it's just cool that other motherfuckers are trying it too. Let them try. Let them try. You know, I get it. The vocals are weird. The vocals are odd. He's singing in a different key. He can't sing in them high notes. And, you know, when he tries to sing them high notes on this album, like, they do some weird shit with it that kind of fits what's going on. The album is awesome. It's unpredictable. To me, it's all about being unpredictable and always throwing a curveball in there, making me be like, damn, I didn't know this was going to be cool, but it's fucking cool, and I'm glad you did it. All the way through, even down to through the God Suite, you know, and you get that one song that just straight up sounds like some Zappa shit. Like, what the fuck? And wow. Just the whole album, wow. From a band, when you listen to motherfucking Seventh Trumpet, and then come to this, the musicianship.
Everything turned into prog rock.
It's crazy.
Everything just goes.
Prog rock is for everyone like who's finally smart enough to not listen to crappy beats. I mean, it's just like I don't know. I'm just saying shit now.
It's like
Look how much time you have to dedicate to sit down and listen to it.
But the
talent
talent
damn song.
so
The song's
when
only
you
6
listen
hours
to a
long.
lot of prog
You'll get
bands,
used to it.
At least from what I've seen, like nowadays, because I don't like older prog, but I mean like old, you know, that was the original prog.
And then they live long enough to be like Frank Zappa, where
new
now
prog
prog
to me,
rock
like,
just makes
the new prog to me
no sense.
is like you finally have something that's not you don't need vocals to enjoy. You know, it has a story to tell in its musicianship.
And
that's what a lot of prog bands,
do.
do. Like they do crazy,
Pepperidge Farm,
crazy shit with their music, with their musicianship. And that's one
it's
thing
all about doing some different shit.
Exactly.
Experimentation. You know, originally prog came out to try and make rock music more sophisticated, as opposed to you know, your structured shit. You know,
Frank Zappa, sophisticated.
The origins of prog music, man. King Crimson and Yes and ELP. You know, those guys. yeah, Rush, all those guys, they paved that way, but then people got sick of it. So they started, what did they do? They started making pop songs. And some of them maintained that popularity. Rush is one of the few prog bands that, to me, didn't suffer from their 80s proggy or 80s pop kind of shit, because they still kept the technicality in there and the prog sensibilities in there. It's hard to make a incredibly technical song be catchy and memorable at the same time. It is incredibly hard to do that, and there's only a few artists. Rush,
Boston.
Yeah, Rush, Boston, Frank Zappa. There's very few artists who were able to master the craft of incredibly complex and
Catchy
incredibly catchy and accessible.
And you can hear the first couple notes and everyone knows exactly what song it is.
Yeah, when like take Frank Zappa's Peaches and Regalia, man. That is such an incredibly complex song, but it is so catchy. It is so memorable. Same thing with Rush and Tom Sawyer. It is so complex, but so memorable and easy to listen to and easy to get into. And other artists kind of suffered from that, because it was either that we would drop almost all of the technicality and make some pop music. Genesis being one of them. But there would be a few songs that were still cool and interesting, but for the most part it got watered down and shitty. But I'm glad that, you know, prog, it was not cool to like prog. By the end of the 70s, they were hiding those records in the back of the store. And then the 80s happened, you know, punk rock, post-punk, and the synth pop stuff, and then heavy metal. You know, prog kind of just went away for a while. But then the prog metal started a little bit. Dream Theater, Fate's Warning, Queensryche, and it started. People started to appreciate prog a little more. Now prog nowadays is so there's so much different happening with it that other artists, to me, if you started off as a band like Avenge Sevenfold, doing really good fucking, you know, showing some serious chops on your earlier shit. Even, you know, I know Dave doesn't really like the City of Evil album, but man, there is some serious chops on that album. Especially, I love it when they play the classical guitar. Man, that dude wails on that thing. So it's cool as fuck that they decided, hey man, let's do a bunch of mushrooms and like, let's just do a Mr. Bungle album.
It starts out because they're making a rock opera.
Yeah,
Rock opera turns into prog rock.
So cool, so cool.
It had, so that's the one thing too about the Avenge Sevenfold that just reminded me of him saying that. It had that one note that I thought it was Haken for a minute there, because the first time I ever heard Haken, I heard that dun, 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 like that kind of, and it sounded, I was like, they opened it up and I was like, this sounds like a Haken song at first. Like I was like, okay, I dig the fuck, and it was old Haken, like, you know, their first 4 albums kind of thing, and I was like, fuck, this is awesome.
And see, this album to me is closer to avant-garde than straight up prog rock. Like, it's proggy, but there's a lot more experimentation. It's weird. It's hard to define anything nowadays because so much stuff is thrown in all kinds of stuff.
Do it. That's the one I'm getting into too. Like, I enjoy it.
Yeah, just
Something
fucking
different.
do it, man. And the fact that they did it and went all in on this shit.
And the
Awesome.
guitar is so fucking good.
Awesome. Good shit all the way through. Number 4, the Reverend Christen Hater, Saved. This album blew me away. I love Christen Hater and her Lingua Ignota stuff. And when she said she was going to retire Lingua Ignota, because all those lyrics are all about her trauma and the stuff that she's dealt with. She said it was hard to relive that shit every night to sing, because those are some massively passionate vocals on that stuff. and you feel that fucking pain coming from her. And when she said she was going to retire that project, I was bummed. I was like, damn, man, what are we going to get next? And she said, you know, my next stuff is going to be similar, but, you know, not really dealing with all her trauma and stuff. So she drops this dark ass Appalachia church fucking album, man, that is like, there are songs that they crazy speaking in tongue shit, which this album hits me in so many weird ways because I grew up in weird fucking crazy church shit, and yeah, it's like that, bruh. Motherfucking, but like, I don't know, man, she fucking does it. It feels like you are in the woods alone. The church has about 15 members. They might burn somebody because she put rocks in her pocket. You don't motherfucking know. Yeah, it is paranoid. It is deep. It is dark. It is disturbing. It is one crazy listen all the way through. And the experimentation, not only in music, vocals, the experimentation in recording concepts is phenomenal. One of the tracks where they recorded it onto reel-to-reel tape, took the tape off of it and drug it around the floor and stomped on it and twisted it, then put it back on there to make it sound like a shitty, fucked up, dilapidated recording you found in some dank-ass basement out in the Blair Witch Woods or some shit, you know. Phenomenal piece of work all the way through. I can't wait to see what she does next. Number 3, one of my favorite satanic bands right now, motherfucking Twin Temple God is Dead. Satanic doo-wop group. Love the shit out of this band. There's a lot of cool stuff happening in satanic music too. Cause we're doing different things. This is doo-wop music for the devil. This album doesn't stay strictly to the devil. There's witchy shit. There's you know, just, you know, two sinners, you know, it's a great fucking album all the way through. The complaints are real. The production is slightly odd with it peaking. It peaks like a motherfucker. It's almost a little hard to hear what she's saying at sometimes. I get it, but it's supposed to sound like a record produced in the 1960s, early 1960s, roughly late 1950s, and I think it does the job, because if you listen to some of those records today, the shit don't sound all that great. I think maybe they went a little too hard on it, because their first album, to me, I believe, achieved that to a better degree. It's not as abrasive as this, but I think this album got that point across pretty hard all the way through. The song God, I'm so happy that God's dead. Doom, 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 doom. Fucking love it, man. Fucking love it. Every bit of this album, it is short. It is short. It is barely 30 minutes long. It is only like 8 tracks. It is short. And which to me, the weight for such a short album was a slight disappointment, but doesn't wreck the fact that you can keep turning it back on, man. If it's too short, just hit play again, let it run through. The songs are easy to listen to. The songs are short themselves. They don't wear out their welcome. They're here, they make their point, and they're gone. Yeah, all the way through, great shit, all the way through. Number 2, Creeper, Sanguivore. I don't know how you pronounce that. Creeper is a band that I've just discovered within like the past 3 or 4 months. Their first album kind of has My Chemical Romance vibes. Second album slight MCR vibes, but a lot more arena rock and Nick Cave kind of stuff happening. But this album sounds like Ghost meets Misfits meets fucking Meatloaf. That first track, oh, what's the first track called, man? Let me scroll around here. Further Than Forever, man. The 10-minute, almost 10 minute, 9-minute long, sounds like Bat Out of Hell. Feels like Bat Out of Hell. It hits all the great Jim Steinman and Meatloaf kind of vibes all the way. Cry to Heaven sounds very similar to what Ghost has been doing more recently, the kind of 80s driving rock shit. Ballad of Spook and Mercy, very Nick Cavey. Man, album is great all the way through. Great fucking shit. Creeper Sanguivore. I don't even know if that's
like carnivore.
That's how you say it.
Yeah, it's like you're saying carnivore, herbivore,
yeah.
Sanguivore.
And so what?
Blood, sanguine, blood, vor, eater.
Sanguivore, because the album's about vampires.
Blood eaters.
I don't be knowing things, y'all. Thank you, Josh. I was saying things. I was saying things. I was saying things fucking stupid.
No, you weren't. You were trying to say it like it sounded like it's fancy.
Yeah. I mean,
you're
it
putting
looks
too much
fancy.
fanciness on it.
It looks fancy. You know, it looks
was simpler
fancy.
than it looked. It's okay.
But nah, fantastic album all the way through. There are songs that'll remind you of Misfits, little horror punk vibes. There are songs that'll sound like the newer Ghost stuff. I would say from Ghost, Prequel, and what's that one called? Impera. That era Ghost with some motherfucking Meatloaf. Bat Out of Hell era. Great motherfucking album all the way through. Number one, y'all know what it is. Y'all know what it is. Kim motherfucking Dracula, gradual decline in morale. Number one, because goes heavy on the Mike Patton vibes, the Mr. Bungle vibes. I say this all. You might as well just call the genre Mike Patton. It's like if Frank Zappa made a metal album. You know, it is the most unpredictable piece of music I've heard in a long time, all the way through. And man, it is close. You know, like I said, that Avenge Sevenfold was number one until this came out. This one just did it all. I will say it did it better. The Avenge Sevenfold was great from a band who isn't used to doing this kind of stuff. But the Kim Dracula blew me away because this is the debut. This is the first album from this motherfucker. And it does this, and it goes crazy all over the place. Every fucking single second of this album is a curveball. You don't know what's gonna happen next. From an artist who came out of nowhere, really. I mean, got popular on TikTok doing a few cover songs from like Lady Gaga, and then the Killdozer song that Kim did. Out of nowhere, gets Jonathan Davis on a track. You know what? Jonathan Davis is sadly one cool aspect of the album, but also a very lame aspect, because it's like Jonathan Davis is doing Jonathan Davis on here. At this point,
actually, I will say that song actually kind of doesn't really fit in that as much as the rest of it.
It would have been better if Jonathan Davis did his
that would have fit better.
Because Kim's doing it the rest of the album.
Yeah, that's why that song kind of just the whole way the
Jonathan
song starts.
Davis kinda-
it's weird.
Everything about that song is good except for Jonathan.
The album's
Davis.
just normal
like,
compared to
everything's
that.
great except for Jonathan Davis
Yeah.
being just good.
And yeah, Jonathan Davis is going through the fucking motions, and it's like, bro, you got some stiff competition here, man.
He made generic new metal in a very experimental new metal
Yeah,
album.
yeah, like
you put the generic part in it.
it's like you got to bring your A game now, Jonathan. You got
You
to
should
bring
have had a
it.
scatting part in there because that would have been perfect.
If he
Yeah.
It would have
scatted-
fit in perfect.
If he did a scat in that instead of what the fuck?
His
ever he
normal chorus singing shit he's been doing the past 20 years. To me, here's the thing. To me, in
He played it too
today's world,
safe.
yeah, today's world, getting Jonathan Davis on your track is the same thing as in the late 90s and early 2000s when you had Ozzy Osbourne feature on your track. You know what I'm saying? When Rob Zombie had Ozzy Osbourne show up, fucking Coal Chamber on, was it Shock the Monkey? Like, it's like you're just getting them for a little bit of cred, you know, and
Just not utilized.
not utilized very well at all. Like you get Jonathan Davis, but you get him to just sing the chorus. You don't get him to do nothing
I mean, it's
cool.
like Billy Corgan on
Yeah.
Code Orange.
Orange,
He just did the chorus part. That's all he did.
Yeah, you don't get him to do
did.
nothing cool.
Once.
You get him
Yeah,
to
one
goddamn...
time, one of the choruses. That's it.
You get Jonathan Davis to just Jonathan Davis on the fucking track. And it's like, bro, I get it because you're doing all the cool, crazy shit. But you should have allowed Jonathan Davis to get cool and crazy too like he used to.
If he did a scat, man, that shit would.
It would have been awesome.
Especially because he came
If-
right.
if-
before
Talk about a scat off.
The fucking drum solo that he
A
did in the
scat
song.
with maybe the slap bass going. With that corn slap bass
Right.
sound and him
Man.
doing his high pitched scat where he does his
a
bass part.
scat
and
off.
he
That
goes,
sounds disgusting.
A scat off.
Scat off.
scat all over the
To
wall.
Kim Dracula and Jonathan Davis, man, that shit would be fucking
Would
hilarious.
That's
Awesome.
that's the album art that you could do.
Right. They should do that next album.
Scat on the walls.
Let's get him.
Scat
Let's
on
get
the
him
wall.
back
Called
on
Scat
there.
on the Walls, but just the album you scatting.
We'll get him back on there in the next on the next
Man.
Kim Dracula album. He'll won't
And
scat the other.
yeah, I
one
hate to
skeet.
say it,
Concept
Jonathan
album.
Davis
The poop
is...
oriented concept album, but you just scatting. You say scat on the
Scats
walls.
the other skeets.
Jonathan Davis is the weakest aspect of this entire album. I mean, I'm not hating on Jonathan Davis. It's just that he did not do anything other than be Jonathan Davis.
It was just his name on there.
Yeah.
He didn't elevate it in any way at all, other than just being on there.
Yeah.
And singing his.
And even in the music
Style.
video, like, Kim's walking up to that box all cool and shit, then opens it up and it looks in there and it's like, oh, then it turns into a Korn music video. It's like Jonathan Davis ain't even there.
Two different thoughts.
Jonathan filmed his shit in his bedroom, you know, over in fucking whatever the fuck California, Bakersfield or whatever the fuck. And goddamn sent the file to fucking Kim. Kim said, alright, let me make it look like I'm opening this box.
Here, it's the box scene
And
from
Korn be up in
Follow
there.
the Leader. We're gonna put it here. We just moved in your thing.
Yeah, but the rest of the entire album all the way through is so good you can forgive the lackluster, basic ass Jonathan Davis performance. I know I'm complaining a lot about that, but the whole album is so good all the way through.
I mean, it did still have a Korn feel to it because, like, the guitar did.
Yeah, it's got-
It was almost like a Korn song, minus parts of the Korn song that you'd want to hear, like the scatting, and then you added Kim Dracula to it.
Yeah, and man, all
Still
the
a
way
good song.
through,
I still like it.
the album is phenomenal. People, and then Kim was on tour with Avenge Sevenfold while they were touring for Life Is But a Dream. Two of the most
That would have been
unpredictable.
an amazing concert to see. Whoever's
know
seen
it,
that
man,
was
you know it.
lucky as fuck.
You know it. Yeah, two of the most unpredictable albums of the year. Kim did it a whole lot more than Sevenfold. Like I said, it is the debut. Now I'm worried, I'm slightly worried that did Kim blow the load too early? What's going to happen next? Will it be as unpredictable a move as this? Or will it be toned down? Will it just sound like everything else? Who the fuck knows? I hope not. And then a cover of Iris from goddamn
An amazing cover of Iris.
Yeah.
So much better than the original. You
Like,
really,
for
it's
real.
an amazingly good cover. of
How
Iris.
did this happen? How did this happen?
It sounds like it would have been an original.
Yeah. Good shit all the way through. So that is my list.
Dolls, that's what it was.
Yeah, Goo Goo Dolls.
I'm trying to think about it.
Googly Dolls.
The Goo Goo Dolls,
All right. So that's my list, y'all. Hope you liked it. Did you like them? Did you hate them? What the fuck would you rate them? That should be the new. That should be a new catchphrase.
Oh my god.
Did you like them? Did you hate them? What the fuck would you rate them?
I mean beers.
It's been about 5
beers.
5 beers, but they be high alcohol beers, you know. So yeah, put your shit, comment your comments in the comments, and or kill me in the comments. Let's just see. What were your favorite albums of the year? Did anything that the three of us throw down, was there any of that on your list? But we will see y'all next time. Later.